we've had a China focus now for more than 10 years. From the day that we bought the farm. When we bought the farm 12 years ago, our biggest market was Japan, from an inbound tourism perspective. And Japan is, I think everyone's aware, struggling still as an economy, and we saw that there were less and less people coming, or maybe Tasmania wasn't the focus, but we started to see basically the base of our international visitorship disappear, and we as owners started to look at, well, how do we backfill that? Again, in terms of Australian tourism in general, but Tasmanian tourism specifically, the US is still very a hard market to crack. Europe has its own challenges. And we've got this extraordinary neighbour in terms of China that's coming up the wealth curve, that's coming up the education curve. And again, I don't mean that negatively. I mean that just the amazing steps that they've taken in terms of driving forward the quality of life in China, and a very, very demanding populace. Our initial focus, quite frankly, was really on the markets of Hong Kong and Taiwan. We can talk broadly about Southeast Asia and Singapore and otherwise, but Hong Kong and Taiwan. And the logic for us was that Hong Kong is an extremely developed, extremely wealthy, extremely educated market that travels a lot. Taiwan is not dissimilar. And for us, the focus on those, if we could get products and offerings that worked for those markets, then as mainland China came up the curve in terms of wealth and education and expectation, as they drive a massively hungry middle class, our thought was that would be able to trade into China very, very quickly. There's what you plan, and then there's what happens. And so we've had a dialogue with China, broad China, as I said, if you look at inclusive of Hong Kong and Taiwan, for a very, very long time. But our direct conversation with China has been a bit shorter, a lot sharper, and a much more fascinating story has been sort of projected a little bit.